What's up, everybody? It's been a minute, but I am back with another video. I hope you're all doing well and have had a nice day or are having a nice day. I'm home from work and I just decided, let's make a video. So, today's topic is going to be something that I've been having an ongoing conversation with my brother and my mom for like 3 weeks now. And the reason we've been discussing it so much is because it's such a good topic and it's such a good question. And I have put thought into it amidst the conversations I've had with my mom and brother about it. But this video is going to be a lot of my thinking and philosophizing on this topic in particular. So the topic is, do we make choices? Do we make choices? This is what me, my brother, and my mom have been discussing for the past few weeks. So there's going to be some pauses while I think about things and analyze the questions myself as I try to respond to them. But I feel like this video is going to be a lot of banter between belief systems. Because what we're talking about here is something, it's a fundamental evaluation of existence. Okay, here is existence. Are we making choices in it or not? It's a pretty big question. It's a pretty deep question. Especially with the kinds of things I associate with. Being Buddhism and Hinduism, karma, and that kind of stuff. So on the surface level, obviously, it seems like we make choices. Because before we do something, we say, I'm going to do this. So therefore, it makes it seem like it's something we decided to do. I'm gonna get right to it, okay? So here's this bag. I'm gonna choose to drop it. Now, can I demonstrate to you me dropping this without choosing to drop it? Of course I can. Of course I can. I would just have to do it in while I'm not paying attention. Because a choice is made under those circumstances only, that you are attentive to what you are choosing between, you know what I mean? And that's another thing about choices, is that it's a either or type thing. It's that there are multiple factors at play and you have to pick one of them, or you're going to pick one of them. So a choice is only, you can only call a choice when attention is on it. And I've talked about this in videos in the past about how evidentially things happen every day that we're not choosing to do, that you could call a choice if your attention was on it. Like breathing. Your breathing goes on and on and on while you're sleeping, while you're awake, while you're sleeping, while you're awake. Always. It's the root of your life. And it's something we very seldom think we're choosing to do. But nevertheless, when you pay attention to this breath, it seems like you're doing it. It seems like I'm breathing. I'm breathing. Maybe not as much so I'm choosing to breathe, but it feels like I'm breathing. Even though breathing has been a happening beyond your attention of it for your whole life, walking. Walking down the road. At first, you're just walking. Things are just happening. You're moving. Next thing you know, you're thinking, I'm walking. I'm choosing to walk right now. You can choose to stop, or you can choose to keep going, and you'll be able to think in your head, I just chose to stop. I just kept going. I chose to keep going. I'm walking. I'm choosing to walk. Now, am I choosing individually each word that I'm saying to you right now? Or is it sort of just a bleh? You know what I mean? Is what's happening all orchestrated through a decision? If so, that's a busy universe going on. And if it's you that's doing the choosing, you got a lot of responsibilities on your back. You got a lot of stuff to keep track of to make sure you're choosing what to do. Because one of the most attractive aspects of thinking we're choosing to do things is that it allows you to identify a personality, how you are, based off what you choose. You are this type of person or this type of person, and thinking you have the ability to choose the better, choose the positive, choose the light over the dark. That'll help you in constructing a positive persona of yourself, you know what I mean? That I'm a good person. I choose the right thing. Now, where all this gets trippy is when you look at, we don't make choices, things just happen, and things are happening and we make choices amongst them, the things happening. It's literally, it comes off as a choice between which one you believe in. And this is why it's such a good topic, is because this thing you're doing called choosing, you know what I mean? Okay, which one is truth? Which one is reality? Okay, there's no choices. That's what's going on. Did I just choose that? So, like I said, if you are under the impression that you are making all these choices and decisions, you must be under a lot of pressure, because there are all these things, you need to keep track of your thoughts. You need to make sure you choose the right things to say, the right things to do, the right places to go, the right people to talk to. You better choose your personality properly, You better choose your life path properly and make sure everything goes just as accordingly as you decide. A chooser is busy. A chooser is tense, There's all this stuff that they have to keep in check and make sure they're doing the right thing, choosing the right thing. So there's a lot of responsibility in the perception of choice. Now, in a universe where there is no choice, at first it sounds really morbid and really derogatory and negative. That there's no choice. You're stuck in this, baby. No getting out of this one. But upon further analysis of the statement that there is no choice in this universe, there's no responsibility. There's nothing you need to do. There's nothing you need to hold up to and make sure. There's nothing you need to make sure happens. Breathing goes on. Hunger arises. The desires to eat arise. And next thing you know, you're looking for food or you're eating, This goes with thirst as well, and lust, and anything that you truly desire, you're going to find yourself going towards it. And in a world of not choosing, this is all just a mere a play happening, Now see, there's been all these things that are going on that I'm not choosing to do, but they look like choices. Like when I'm taking my pod out and putting it back in, and when I just started talking, and all these things that are going on look like choices. look like choices. And if I'm attentively up in my head going, I'm choosing to do this, I'm choosing to take this pot out and put it back in, you know? If I'm doing all this stuff with the attention and awareness that this is a choice that I'm deciding on, it's going to seem like it. It's going to seem like it. But these same very choices happen without our attention. Without our attention. And in my opinion, I feel like they happen more spontaneously and more genuinely and purely when we aren't choosing. When we aren't playing the choosing game of what do we think we should do, what do we think we should say, what's the right thing to do, what's the wrong thing, watch out for that wrong thing that I can't do or can't say or whatever it may be. And that just brings me back to the world of choosing. It's a lot of responsibility. It's a lot of responsibility. This very happening right now. What about this is choice? Beyond the concept choice. Beyond psychologically thinking, I'm choosing to do this, I'm choosing to do that. Where is choice? Because it's not innate, it's not in reality, it's not as reality is. Reality is merely just a all-encompassing nothingness. It's an everythingness. When you include everything, there can't be one other thing or multiple things or, that everything is all. That everything is all and it's one. So there, in essence, it's nothing. It's nothing because it's everything. Now, where is the choices? Where's the choices? Beyond looking at it and going, that's a choice, that's a choice, that's a choice. Where is the innate essence of choice in reality? It's not there. It's not there. Choice is right here. Choice is psychological. The energy of the perception of choice is real. The illusion of thinking you are choosing is real. But that you are choosing, which is the illusion, that's not real. It's like a painting of a certain thing, but it looks like another thing inside of it, and you're so focused on that other image in it that you lose sight of the initial image, like the two vases next to each other that look like two vases, and then they look like two people facing each other. It's as if what was there first is the vases, but now you see faces in them, vases with faces. Which one's reality? And I can't deny that, like I said a minute ago, the idea of choosing is real. I can look at a situation and choose what to do, conceptually choose what to do. But this takes your attention. This needs and requires attention to be a choice. And like what people call mistakes, where they accidentally do something, maybe because they weren't paying attention. Somebody comes at them and says, "Why'd you do that? Why would you do that?" Basically telling you, "Why'd you choose to do that, man?" And you're like, I didn't choose to do it. It just happened. It was an accident. I didn't, Now there's no choices. Okay, now there's no choices. Now that something bad happened. Oh, I'm not the one choosing things. That was an accident. I didn't mean to do that. How can there be some choice and some no choice? You know what I mean? That's what makes me think that the idea of choice is just when you look at reality with attention of identity. You know what I mean? It seems like you're choosing. It seems like you're the one choosing. It makes total sense. You know, it completely sequentially makes sense that I'm choosing to take this pod out and I'm choosing to put it back in. You know, but we don't look at all the other shit going on in reality that just happened with that. The fact that I pulled my finger away and applied the physical strength and used my eyes to coordinate the pod into the jewel, and all these different things are at play. And the lighting that allowed me to see the choice I'm making. Do you have to see choices to be able to make them? The idea of choosing is so little. It's so little, and that's what makes it an aspect of reality. It's not a truthful, innate reality that I'm making these choices. It's a concept. It's a concept. It's a part of reality. It's a psychological concept. I'm choosing to do this, you know? Who's making all the decisions when you're not busy making decisions? Who's doing the breathing and the walking and the talking and the acting and feeling and seeing when you're not attentive to doing it? It's all still going on. It's all still happening and vibrating and available. But your attention of thinking, I'm choosing to do this, it's not there. And it doesn't seem like a choice in that scenario. But you can, like I've been saying, put your awareness and attention on it and go, these are all choices being played out. Everybody's choosing to do all these things, and that's why reality is the way it is. You know, are trees choosing to tree? Are they choosing to grow all those new leaves every day at the rate that they do? And the root expansion, are rocks choosing to rock? You know? Is gravity choosing? I'm going to pull things down. Why are you choosing? If all these other things aren't choices, why are you a choice? Why are you making a choice? You didn't even choose this life, as far as we know. You didn't even choose to be in the first place. And now here you are thinking, oh, I did that. Oh, I'm doing this. As you can probably see by my energy and my tone and my just the way I'm wording things, I am under the impression that choices aren't real. The idea of choosing is what's real. That if I apply my attention, it seems like I'm choosing. And it seems like there's an outcome in regards to my choice that I can go yay or nay to. You know what I mean? Like, hey, awesome, I got what I wanted, or I did the right thing, or oh no, I shouldn't have chose that. It's very real. That concept is there in the mind. It's present. It was what was planted into my mind that, you know, make the right choice. But what else has been implanted into my mind is extensive amounts of Eastern mysticism. And basically, you know, me being a part of that is what has got my understanding of choices to where it is now. That I don't see reality as a plethora of choices being made, all, you know, amalgamated together. And that everything that's happening is the outcome of choices, in which we're making new choices on those outcomes in hopes of, you know, just that. That's crazy to me. Everything seems a lot more simple. Everything seems like it's much more intelligent than the idea that it's choosing to do what it's doing. It just does it. It just does it, you know? Choices imply that there is somebody, a doer. And a lot of people feel like they need that doer. And that's why a lot of people probably won't believe or understand what I'm saying. Because they need to be a doer. They need to be somebody. They need to feel like somebody. Because if they aren't somebody, you know, who are they? What are they? Where do they stand? What grounds do they have if they don't know who they are? Well, that's the beauty of Eastern mysticism, is when you basically realize you don't know who you are and that there is no you. You find yourself, and that self is free, and that self is open and happening of itself. It is the Tao. That thing you find at the end, whatever imagined end you want to put on it, is what's happening. It's the Tao. It's the way of things. Things are happening, you know? And I don't even like saying that things are happening. You know what I mean? It's more so just like, blip. That's a better word. Ah. Those words describe existence to me better. It doesn't feel like a world of choices. If I'm living in my ego, and if I'm living in my identity of what I think I need to be doing and who I think I am, yeah, there's a lot of choices that I think I'm making. There's a lot of things that I think I need to do, you know? Get a nice job, start making money for so I can support myself and get my own home, and you know, I need to get on that stuff. I need to do it. But do you think there's a possibility that if I just was aware, those types of things would happen of themselves? And do you think maybe, just maybe, they would be more wholesome and real if I wasn't misconstrued by the idea that I needed to choose the right one, and pressured and obligated by the idea that I need to choose the right one, you know? If you're making choices to try and make things have meaning, let me tell you, life seems to have more meaning when you don't make choices. Life seems to be more eventful and joyful when you aren't the one choosing. You know what I mean? And here's a good thing. Can you find yourself in a space where you aren't choosing? Because, you know, it's there. It's possible. This reality, it's why I believe in what I do, is that there is a domain in which everything is still going on, but I'm not choosing to do any bit of it. And it's just a happening that I get to be a part of and be with. And it's called life. It's called existence. And it's this melting of concept and separation and what I think is happening. And everything is just, it feels infinite. It feels eternal. And it feels like it couldn't go anywhere and I couldn't go anywhere. And nothing needs to change. Nothing could change, even though it's in the act of changing. Can you put yourself there? Can you see the universe without choices? Because if not, you're still busy choosing because you're choosing not to see it that way. That's the thing with Buddhism is, you know, They'll tell you, hey, these stories are not the truth. These stories are concepts. Don't get caught up in what we're saying. You know? Not a lot of stories tell you that. Not a lot of religions and methods and spiritual practices tell you, hey, what I'm saying deep down is another bullshit illusion. You know? Because they're trying to catch you and get you on that trip so that you engage in the same rush. I've said this before. I've shared this story before in the past, but the story of Ramdas on the bus in India with a bunch of his friends, and they were all sightseeing around India and going to these different places and whatnot, and they intended to go to this some activity going on, and on the way there, some of the people in the bus saw that there was a big Indian festival going on, and Ramdas was seen as like the higher up of them because he was the oldest and wisest or whatever. So a bunch of people were like, "Hey, Ramdas, can we go to this? Can we go to this festival going on?" And Ramdas was like, "I'd like to, but I just want to get to where we were going. I don't want to make the bus driver have to drive all around and do all this stuff. So we're just going to go to where we initially were going to go." So the people were like, okay, and went and sat back down. And Ramdas said he was thinking and started thinking, who am I to tell these people where they can and can't go? You know what? We are going to go to that festival. So he gets up and goes and tells the bus driver, hey, turn around and take a left right here and go to the Indian festival. So the bus driver's like, all right, turns around, takes the left, and as they're driving down that road towards the festival, they see walking down the side of the road their guru with a devotee walking. And they hadn't seen their guru, Maharaji, in I think it was like 6 months, like a very absurdly long amount of time they hadn't seen him. And then all of a sudden there he is on the side of the road. So the bus stops and they all get out and they're talking to him and crying and laughing and just ecstatic because their guru's right there. And Maharaji, the guru, says, follow us, and continues walking down the road. So they start following him, and they veer off the road a little bit and walk up into this house off into the woods a little bit. And they walk in the house, and inside the house there is a hot and ready meal prepared for every single one of the people on the bus, including the bus driver. Down to the very head, there was meals ready. Now, if you don't immediately get the notion out of that story, they weren't planning on going down that road. They were going to go to the other activity that was going on. Some of the people in the bus just so happened to ask Ramdas, hey, can we go to this festival? Which would take them down that road. Ramdas, at first, wasn't going to. And then thought, maybe we will. And then chose, let's go down this road. Let's go. You know what I mean? Then all of a sudden, Maharaji, the guru, is there. And says, follow us. We have meals prepared for you. Every single one of you. Now, these meals took a while to make, so Maharaji would have had to let the woman at the house know, hey, start cooking these meals pretty early. There's going to be a busload of people coming later on today. How does that happen? If Ramdas was making choices on what was going to happen and what to do, how did Maharaji know at like 8 o'clock that morning, oh shoot, start cooking 11 meals. We're going to have a busload of people. Like it's all laid out. Now, that seems a little more in line with how I think things to be, because karma. When you hear the word karma, you think about, first, usually the most surface level perception of it is that it's revenge. Karma is natural revenge for bad things that people have done. But karma actually translates back to action, doing, happening, the unfolding of existence itself. You know, karma is the fact that I'm rubbing my foot right now. It's how I'm leaning in and talking, and how my microphone just shook, and the wind blowing across from my AC, and how I'm stroking my beard. And karma is the unfolding of what's happening. And it's not multiple things. It's one. It's a happening together. It's intermingled. It's together, you know? It's all, when this happens, and this happens because this happens, and this happens because this happens. It's you know, and there's the universe, is karma. Thinking you're choosing to do things is part of karma, is part of the unfolding of events. And now he's going to think he's choosing to do this, and then he's going to do that, you know what I mean? People say they make choices, but then say things like karma's a bitch, you know? Who's in charge of those choices? Basically, when you say that, you're saying, I hope something bad happens to you because you did wrong. You did something wrong. You didn't make the right choice. Now the natural, autonomous energy of karma is going to make you pay. Well, the natural, autonomous energy of karma is you and that person and the space in between, and the sound of your voice, and everything. Everything. It's all the unfolding. You know? Like, you could think about it like Tao. Tao is existence. Karma is how it's unfolding and where it's going. A lot of Buddhists tend to say you're working out your karma. You're burning off karma. You're getting through it, you know, and don't worry, you don't need to rush, you know, enlightenment naturally happens. It's a natural part of consciousness. But it happens over billions of lifetimes, you know what I mean? And even if you just get the slightest notion that you might be a part of something fishy, you know, even just the slightest little thoughts of those kind of things once in your life is the burning off of that karma. See, if you just heard that, my cat's got in a fight. My cat Leela, the one that just got attacked by the mom cat, he must have deserved to get startled. He must have deserved to feel that, oh shit. He must have deserved to feel the emotional, you know, if it's there, yo, why is my mom being mean to me? He needed to be put back in his place. That was Krishna communicating with Krishna. You know what I mean? Shiva talking to himself. And that's why nothing, that's the idea of how nothing is happening. Because it's just one. It's me talking to me, talking to me, talking to me. Where does it separate from me to you? Is it a perception of a choice? I'm going to choose to say it's my skin that separates me from you. I'm going to choose to say it's the consciousness that I think is inside of my head that separates me from you. Can't you see it's all a function of the mind? The idea of choosing, thinking you are somebody that makes choices, thinking there are outcomes to your choices. It's all just nothing happening. It's all just this one thing. And it's neutral because everything equalizes. When you get hungry, when you get the sensation of hunger, you're either going to eat or not, and both of those carry out what you could call an outcome. If I end the video right now or if I keep talking, what's the difference? I'm going to lose followers if I just cut the video off weird, or I'm going to feel like I didn't get out what I wanted to say, or what does it matter to choose when there is always going to be something that happens? Now, part of me, my brother, and my mom's conversation about this is kind of interesting. My brother asked my mom, it was like, I think he said to her, if you can't choose the outcome, what's the point of making the choice? It's a good question. She said, to hope for the outcome. Doesn't that just seem miserable? You know what I mean? And that, that's no offense on my mom or anybody that is in a position where they make choices because they hope for outcomes, Also what I feel is the basis of the law of attraction. You're putting yourself at such a disadvantage from the neutral freedom that is the very moment, that is the happening, that doesn't require decision. You're separating yourself from that in hopes, in desire that the happening happens in a certain way. But there's nothing exciting about that, And like I jokingly said in the beginning of this video, what makes this so trippy is what it comes down to is, what do you choose to believe? What do you think's real? What do you think makes more sense, My advice is, don't make a choice. Don't believe in the one or the other of what I've talked about in this video. Just see. Just see. And don't make a reaction out of it. Don't make an action. Don't do something because of it. Or at least don't think you're the one doing something, because something's gonna happen because of this. Something always happens because of something. And, it's just the existence. Doesn't require doers. There are doers, but it doesn't require them to think they're doing. There's a rush associated with making choices. Like choosing to go on a date, or choosing to try a new drug, or choosing to do something. Anything. It has a sort of rush associated with it, and we get off to it. We like the ambiguity of not knowing what could happen. But that ambiguity is you seeing through the bullshit of your concept that you're making a choice or a decision. What is a decision if you can't make out the outcome, Like, it's so far out. I'm going to eat some edible pixie dust. Ugh. That malic acid hits hard, dude. But yeah. Did I just choose to do that? I must have, because I did it. The problem is the I, the ego, that thinks it's the doer, because it can't see what's happening without laying onto it that it's playing a role in it. I did this. I chose to do this. You know what I mean? If you think you're doing stuff, and if you think you're somebody, you can't see the vantage point that it's all a free and open happening. So if you don't understand what I'm saying, that's fine, first of all, because basically I don't even understand what I'm saying. That'd be like me saying I understand the universe. I just talk. There just is speech. There just is words and sounds, and it all really isn't anything. It doesn't mean anything. It's like the universe is what psychedelic visuals look like. Now, if you know what I'm talking about, you know. It's nothing. You can't make out it. You can't make it out. It's there. It's there, but you can't do anything about it. You can't make out what it is. You can't. It's just what it is. And there it is, happening like ever. So again, it's alright if you don't understand what I'm saying, because I don't either. It's not a problem. And if you think it is, you're choosing to think it's a problem. But if you want to understand what I'm saying, rather than looking further into choice and what are choices and what are decisions and, do we make choices, I'd suggest looking into ego, looking into the sense of self, looking into who you think you are. Maybe don't even go out and, do something. Just right now, look at who you think you are. It's a thought form. It's right there. Now, how does he choose what's happening? How does he choose what to do? What is that he? It's a thought form. It's right there. You can see it in the mind. And just play with that. Play with that idea of who you think you are. And, realize how you see who you think you are. And who's that? Don't forget that one. Don't forget that level of awareness and mind that you can see yourself. So who's the real one? Ego work will better help you understand what I'm saying, because it kind of like Gandhi said, if you reduce yourself to zero, you're everything. You're everywhere. And it all makes sense. Oh. But it doesn't make sense to somebody. So don't get your hopes up that you're going to bring it back and talk about it to the tribe, because it's just the energy of how life and existence is. So I think that's it for this video. I think that was a pretty good video, coming back at it. I hope to get back on the train of doing philosophical discussions and talks of that nature and whatnot. I recently got back to working. I work Monday through Friday from 8 to 4:30, and then I get home, hang out with my cats, and sip coffee and stuff. And I guess I just haven't been driven to make a video, but I'm kind of getting back to wanting to just talk and philosophize and vent, say what I'm thinking and stuff. So I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I will be back with more. I'll see you later. I'm choosing to say goodbye.